implementing it here in a thoughtful way that helps the citizens of this county that need it. Thank you.
I believe we were talking about the train, and is that the answer? Okay, first of all, I want to apologize because after the first question I do have to leave. I have an early morning attorney-client session with the board, and I have to go and finish reading the briefs that the attorney probably emailed me, and we're going to be taking a very important vote tomorrow morning, so after this is going to be my last question. I don't think the bullet train is the answer, but it's certainly a good start, and it's certainly a good start to a conversation and to a discussion that we need to have, and that is, how do we make our state more, the transportation within our state quicker, faster, and more reliable. You know, we go anywhere in Europe, anywhere in South America, and they've got great mass transit systems. We don't have that here in Florida. You go to Washington, they've got a great mass transit system. You go to New York, you go to most major metropolises, and you really don't need to have a car. I know if I didn't need to have a car, I wouldn't have one. I wouldn't have to pay for the insurance, the gas, the maintenance. I would just get on the public transportation system and use it. We don't have that here in Miami. We don't have that here in the state of Florida. So it's a good conversation to start. It's a good starting point. I don't see our delegation from Central Florida and Northern Florida as the enemy. I think we need to work with them. I have friends who are running for state rep in Central and Northern Florida and in the Panhandle, and I've built alliances with them already. So when I get to Tallahassee, I will have already built alliances, not just here with our own delegation, but also with the delegations outside, because we don't have the numbers to get the job done. It's a numbers game. On the board, I have to count to 5. I need 5 votes to get anything done on that board, and I've got to count to 5. To 6, 7, 8 would be great, but I need to count to 5. To get anything done in Tallahassee, you've got to count to 61, because there's 120 reps. And our southern delegation is not going to get us to that magical 60 number, so we've got to build alliances throughout the state. I'm sorry.
Thank you very much for speaking for us.
Thank you. Thank you. World-class cities, world-class communities need world-class transportation. Transmillennial. I went to Bogota 4 years ago, and I was so impressed by what they have done. I rode the Transmillennium. It is economical and it is wonderful. We do need fast trains in Florida. It will decrease the cost of transportation. It will decrease the cost of businesses transporting goods in and out of our state. Remember, we're a peninsula. That's why it costs us so much to get our services, our goods and services down here, because we have to come all the way down, and where do we go? We have to go all the way up to continue traveling all over the state, all over the nation. We don't have to look too far. We can look at Denver, Colorado. What did they do? They invested in public transportation. They have green public transportation in downtown Denver. And they're not a rich community. They really made their dollars count, because they decided that they were going to invest in that community. And it has increased the business benefits that they have provided to their city. It has increased the tourism. It has increased you know, the quality of life of people who work downtown, and now don't have to work downtown because there's transportation back and forth into the bedroom communities. We can definitely do better. In District 114, every single major road is a state road. We have problems getting out of our communities. I do. I live right off of Sunset. I have a problem getting out of my community in the mornings if I want to travel downtown. So we really do need to make this a priority, and we need to look at ways bringing down tax dollars, our tax dollars, down from the federal government, which is another, we're a donor state again. And what it shows is that we have lack of leadership. And this is why I want to go to Tallahassee, because I will speak up and I will bring the money down.
The bottom line is, from city to city, transportation is not cost efficient. I talked to Bob Burleson of the Florida Transportation Builders Association. He said if we were to invest in a bullet type of system, it only would knock out 3% of the drivers, and that's only that's only minuscule compared to vehicle use growth every year. So it's not going to, the benefits are not going to be there. And if there's any justification, now look at current public transportation. Capacity is less than 20%. So the cost does not justify the means at all. So if you look at the Metro Rail, it's been around for what, 30, 40 years? It's losing revenue. We have to rely on TARP money to fund it for this year. It's not. If a system of mass transit has a viability, then let the free market decide it. If there's no investors, then that tells you something. So I don't want to put the burden on the people on a losing proposition, because it's always going to be a cost to us, and we cannot provide this at this time, this junction in time. So that's all I have to say. It's a harder point than my associates, but that's how I feel, and I back it up with Bob Burleson, who's an expert on state transportation.
Excellent. Thank you for this round, and I'd like to thank you all for about 10 years ago, when I was a young guy working in financial economics, we worked on that project and set it up. It moved 3.6 million people a day. It cost nothing to build, and it cost nothing to maintain, and we can learn a lot from the system. If you'd like, would you like one more question, or is this it? That's up to the country. It's up to you guys.
We should say goodbye.
I'd like to have some interaction with the group.
Oh, my.
We can ask you one last question. How do you feel about it?
We can ask you some questions.
Pardon me?
We can ask you some questions.
Yeah, okay. We're not judges. Actually, you can ask these guys.
How many of you would support dividing Florida into 2 separate states?
I would. We're in Donner County. I don't care. We are in Donner County.
Raise your hand. That's the way to solve the problem.
We have to have a format for this.
Okay.
Ask it, you need to tell us who you want to ask it
And it
of,
needs to be
and we need to have 2 or 3 other people also say something about it.
Well, that's just a hand raise there. I got my answer.
Okay, so he's for it. Is everybody else for seceding from the union?
No,
No, that's different.
that's not what I said. That's what I was splitting the state in 2 from West Palm Beach down to Monroe. That's not a problem with that.
That's right. Exactly.
Then they'll learn in Tallahassee that we are the one, the economic engine of the state, and they need to respect us down here. That's it.
I just think it's the whole hyper-partisan political attitude that is carried throughout the state that's creating the problem. I think that the north part of the state and the south part of the state would have a better chance of working well together if we just didn't have the kind of structure that's created politics as is, with gerrymandering, with the wing nuts out there who are trying to scare people. We really need to get more fair and reasonable representation up there. That's more from the center, from the middle, I think, that represents the majority of people in the state. And we need to clean up the way that we structured politics in the state, such as this issue we're looking at with fair districting coming up, which gives us an opportunity to clean that up. If we had a better balance in the Democrat, Republican, party crowd, where people, were more evenly balanced, they had no choice but to sit down and come up with some solutions rather than playing this win-at-all-cost, hyper-partisan, wing-nut politics. It's really not a matter of splitting the state. It's a matter of joining up with the people around the state who have things in common.
No, it
People
isn't.
who love their state of Florida.